bar. I could go there. Newtown District. Richard's office. Let's go to Newtown. Whoa, holy God. Oh, I was wondering who Amanda was. Oh my God. Oh my. Hello there, handsome. Right back at you, pretty lady. Well now, I'm flattered to hear you call me a lady. This is our new bodyguard, Leo. I'm Amanda, one of Rose's friends. I'm glad I got to meet you. The pleasure's mine. I must be living the good life, meeting lovely girls every day of the week. You're a funny one. How charming. Leo, I'd like you to take Amanda home. Do you know how to get there? I will show you I will if you show me a map. I never forget the address of a beauty. In that case, I'll take my leave, Rose. It's good for you to have a sense of responsibility, but try not to overdo it. Yes, I understand. Well said. Okay, Leo, let's go. Her house is in the Newtown District. The district was a cluster of beautiful, high-class apartments used to symbolize Japan's reconstruction. Hey, Leo. What is it? What do you think of Rose? She's a wonderful employer who pays my salary. That's not what I meant. Why did Rose ever become the madam? Because we couldn't all agree on anyone else. I see. As the number of repatriated soldiers grew, the streets rapidly became more dangerous. Violence brought about by men can only be countered by more violence wielded by men. And that's why the ladies of the evening decided to start employing bodyguards. If anyone wanted to employ a large number of talented men, they would first need to gather together a large sum of money. They would need to find as much money as possible for bribing public officials and such. And so the women all gathered together and formed an alliance. That alliance was Primavera. The name Primavera has two meanings. The first referred to Club Primavera, a single club. The second was the alliance of the ladies of the evening that went by the same name. Alliance of Ladies of the Evening, called Primavera. However, there was a big argument over who should be the madam, the leader of this organization. It was only natural. Ladies of the night are a devious bunch. There was no chance of them all agreeing. And that's where Rose came in. Everyone loved that sincere, considerate girl. Me, Stella, and Meryl, the leaders of each faction, gathered together and nominated her. And so we were able to reach an agreement. What's Meryl's district like? Holy fuck. How talented is she at the job? What do you think, from what you've seen of her? She's honest, pure, and has a strong sense of responsibility. However, she worries me. It feels like she might just fall down and skin her knee at any moment. That's right. She's pure and feels a strong sense of responsibility. And that's why she worries people. I heard about what happened with Alfred. Why didn't you stop her? To think she actually went alone, even though she knew it was a trap. There are times that even Rose just goes away too far. Because if she didn't do that, who knows what might have happened to Claudia. It's because she saw the madam that she went forward into danger to protect that girl. I agree that it was admirable. However, Rose is the madam of Primavera. Primavera isn't as unified as she thinks. So it's just barely holding together because of Rose? Precisely. She has no idea how vital she is. And maybe that part of her character is what makes her a good madam. Perhaps. That certainly is the reason we all love her so. I'm half retired now, so I'd rather not butt in where it isn't necessary. But there are times when I think it was a mistake to recommend her for the position of madam. It wasn't a mistake. You think so? No matter how worrying things are, there's something that should never be forgotten. And you think this is something Rose has? I do. People who never forget their noble goals will always win in the end. To me, It sounds like you're just talking in simplistic ideals. In that way, men always do. It's not just men. Everyone loves simplistic ideals. Once we've lost those, the world is just a rock band without the vocals. Well, I understand what you're saying, logically speaking. If I'd known it would come to this, I'd have put my foot down and made sure I became madam. If she acts recklessly and something happens, that can't be undone. It'll be my responsibility. There's no need to underestimate Rose like that. And besides, that's why we're here. Forgive me, it seems getting older tends to make a person pessimistic. No problem, I can see why Rose is loved so much, and also, I can see why only Rose could do the job of Primavera's madam. Leo, please take care of that girl. Of course. Even if you didn't ask, I couldn't abandon her. Yes, thank you. You can drop me off at that corner. Anytime. I'm sorry about today. Even though it was our first meeting, we spent the whole time talking about the murky details. No trouble. Better than a dry, boring conversation, anyway. Next time we meet, we'll talk about something juicier. Like what? So long, then. Good night. Fucking tease! Let's go with the bar. Nothing like getting drunk. I decided to make this utterly changed hometown my second hometown. I made a habit of walking around the city on my own time. I wanted to learn more about this city. Because just maybe, I could learn to love it. Oh, now there's a shop I could get it to like. Now here's a shop I could get to like. There's nothing like the joy of taking a long walk and bumping into a shop you love. It's hard to beat a club like Primavera filled with cute girls, but bars for men like this aren't bad either. Yeah, sorry. Primavera's my place. Wow. Place just packed with depressing looking guys. Depressed looking guys. The bar was overflowing with day laborers. They all had gloomy looks on their faces, but there was an indefinable bitter charm to the place. Not bad. A man needs a good, dusty drink every now and then. God damn it. So I smacked the woman. A man's only worth something when he's making money. Are you surprised she's taking you lightly? Women will treat men without money like stray mutts. Yeah, you tell them. Stupid fucking women. Who do they think they are? People? You're not wrong there. Welcome now. There's a face I haven't seen before. Of course not. I haven't made my movie star debut yet. Looks like we got us a comedian. Business seems to be booming here. Ah, just a bunch of gutter slime gathering here. No sex appeal at all. You think they'd come out to see this dung heap bar if they had money? Yeah, we'd be having a drink and eyeing the ladies someplace they've got 'em. What? And maybe you'd better stop rolling around in the dung and get yourselves a job. You're wrong there. We live in a time where women make more dough than men. True. Only women can earn cash seducing those pretty American soldier boys. So physical labor all day and all night. That was so funny. A sudden wild yell and crash made the bar fall silent. The man who was clearly drunk out of his mind spat. What's a woman to do except shut up and listen? Look, damn it, you won't see me going around sucking up to some woman. I think you've had enough to drink. Shut up, just what is a woman? This Japan of ours wouldn't even exist now if we men didn't risk our lives on the battlefield, alright? Yeah, you did a fucking lot of good, buddy. You got bodied. What are our women doing? They're sucking up to foreigners, wearing fancy clothes, and eating good food. Not good food! This Japan only exists because of the blood we men shed. And yet, just what are our women doing? Even the women are working their asses off so they can eat. Who the hell are you? Are you defending these women? Oh, you've got good ears. Did you hear that? You better give that a rest. There's no calming this guy when he gets riled up. Women and anyone who defends women are all shit. You take a step outside. I'll have a pass. Walking out of a bar arm in arm with a dude isn't really my thing. You bastard, you pissed me off! Oh no, I have to beat a drunk dude. Whatever, will I do? Hey Rose. Would be a shame if a female card beat him. That would really suck. Now wouldn't it? Thanks, Rose. I appreciate it. High level bonus. Hey, I got all of them! Wee! Hit rate 100%. Feels good. You better go home and have a good nap. Don't forget to brush your teeth. The man was pretty tough. He was still clumsy trying to stumble to his feet. He staggered and bumped shoulders with the large man. Better cut your losses. This isn't a foe you're any match for. Mr. Kreegi? Kreegi? The drunkenness vanished from the man's face in an instant. Apparently this new man had a reputation in this bar. Be a good boy and go step outside. This is no place to sleep. Sure, I'll go home. Oh, good. You've spoiled my drink, kid. Care to buy me another? You're a big name around here. Looks like no one wants to mess with you. Drinking and fighting are what a man lives for. But if anyone takes it too far, I've got to step in. Come on, have a seat. Next round's on this guy here. It'd be my pleasure, Chief. Call me Kirigi. I've never been a fan of fancy titles. Just who might you be? Just who might you be? Yeah, Yoko. Hold up there. I'm not asking for your fancy English name. Got it? We're all Japanese here. You've got a fine name that you can say proudly before the heavens, don't ya? True, my name's Shishigami. I'm Kirigi. You know your way around a fistfight, don't ya? And you're strong as hell. Maybe, but even I can't sober up a drunk with a single glare. Ha ha! You've got balls of steel too. You're one crazy bastard. Still, I can hardly believe I've never heard of someone as tough as you. You new to these parts? Yep, just got repatriated. Took you long enough. What have you been up to all this time? Got stuck in a prison camp for 3 years. Would you believe? Sounds like a bitch. Where'd they drop you? Down to the south. Don't ask. I don't like to think about it. I was sent to the south, too. Lots of good men under my command on some islands. They were nothing but jungle. Oh, you're an officer. Something of the sort. You yourself? I was an officer, too. Training new personnel was my job. Ah, so you're an instructor. I see. So that explains the little performance of yours earlier. This whole time, I thought I never wanted to talk about the war again. But apparently even the worst sort of memory can make for a good side dish to a good drink. From time to time. Before long, we were drinking together and sharing stories of old times. Okay. Let's go to the Udon shop. Leo, there's somewhere I'd like to go for a bit. Could you drive me? Anything for Rose. As you wish, miss. So where is it? That's a secret. Miss, I'm afraid I can't take you anywhere if it's a secret. Good point. When she showed me the place on the map and I drove her over there. Well, if it isn't an austere Japanese-style restaurant. Those red paper lanterns tickle my excitement as a man. I am getting aroused by this. Now there's something you never see these days. Japanese-style restaurant. I finally found that delicious udon place that I promised I'd find for you. Promise? What promise? Remember, you said you were looking for an udon place, and I promised that I'd find you one someday. Did I ever make a promise like that? Though I do remember saying I was bored of Western food and wondered if there was any good udon places around. That's conscientious of you. You remembered that. You remembered about that. I always keep my promises. There was a broad smile on Rose's face. Aren't you cute? She's a good conscientious girl. But I also thought she was the type who tended to carry many burdens. Tended to carry many burdens. Thanks. I'll treat you tonight. Don't worry about it. My salary's big enough to pay my own way. What a fucking good girl. Holy fuck. Hey there. Welcome. I have a reservation for 2. I believe it's under the name Rose Haibara. You even made reservations? This udon restaurant's actually pretty popular. Well, I can understand that. No matter what there is, udon is Japan's soul food. If you look around, there are actually quite a few Japanese restaurants out there. They just tend to be expensive. It's hard to get the materials for Japanese food in Tokyo these days. Especially soy sauce. You can find some in the Chinese district, but the prices have shot up like you won't believe. Rumor has it some Chinatown villain has been buying it all up to raise the price. Well, you do hear that Chinese are good at business. Soy sauce costs a bundle. Miso soup costs a bundle. Sauce and ketchup are about all you can get on the cheap. At this rate, Japanese restaurants will disappear despite all the demand for them. There's been some low-quality fake soy sauce going around lately. Rumor says that there's been some drug that's bad for the body in it. I've heard that rumor before too. After a while, it's supposed to make you go blind. What? These are the times we live in. There's a lot of dubious food drifting around, with many disturbing rumors to go with it. That's terrifying. It'd be healthier to eat hamburgers all day. However, our soy sauce is the real thing. So is our dashi. That's why it's so expensive. It is a bit, but it's supposed to taste really good. Sure enough, everything on the menu that hung on the wall had an impressive price next to it. Once I converted the Japanese dollars into the old Japanese yen, it was like seeing a menu at an old high-class restaurant. It's enough to make you cry. These days, even udon is high-class dining. Oh, I'll be paying tonight. You haven't gotten paid yet, have you, Leo? I still have a little left from the repatriation office. I'm sorry. Taking you to a place like this without thinking about your wallet. Don't apologize. And anyway, getting to treat a girl to dinner is a privilege for a guy. Waiter, I'd like a large serving of the Tanuki udon with egg and mochi in it, and extra green onions. Oh, and then I'd like the okame udon and some shimichi, shichi, whatever. Fuck, too. That costs extra, does it? Waiter, I'd like some of that too. I'll pay. That's my job as the madam, and order from management. It should have just been udon, but it was delicious enough to make me tear up. There's no way to describe the greatness of udon eaten in post-war Tokyo, filled with neon letters of the alphabet. Isn't it delicious? Oh, it's hot. It's incredible. I'm glad I was born Japanese. Yeah. This has become a difficult era for the Japanese. I'm sure there are reasons to rejoice in our heritage. I'm sure the Americans and Chinese have things like that too. And for Japanese people like us, this meal's a bit of heaven. But I guess it feels a bit lonely. What does? I hear that right now, in the schools of City 23, children are being fed sausage, buttercorn, and french fries in their school lunches. Oh no, not french fries. I guess the school in the Chinese districts are serving ramen with fried rice and Peking duck. I'm sure the Japanese children will grow up without knowing the taste of Japanese food. I'm sorry, but if you're taking one, I'm taking the American food. That's why even the taste of udon we're getting now. Wonder if it'll be the soul food of any adult in the future. It does make me feel just a little bit lonely. It's all because soy sauce and miso are expensive, isn't it? Well, that's not the only reason. I mean, she's talking from a cultural standpoint, from bottom up. Because if the kids are only growing up on, I don't know, fucking American food, obviously their soul food's gonna be American comfort food. I think so. If Japanese cooking were cheaper and accessible, I'm sure Japanese food would become more familiar to everyone. But this isn't about... It could be as cheap as fuck, but if it's not being given out, that is. And if it did, maybe the taste would be passed on to the future. I was thinking... Is called Primavera gonna start up an udon shop then? Maybe we could distribute soy sauce and so on. No, if we could obtain some for cheap and sell it to stores. No, I wonder if there's anything we can do. Rose's chopsticks had frozen completely. On that day, I learned that a delicious udon place and a little bit about Rose's earnest personality. I like it. She's trying to do something. Good for her. Ah, this is your Richard boy office. Ah, fuck. I don't even remember. Is business going well? Come on, this is our Richard we're talking about. He's ranking in enough to make a grown man cry. Leo, I'm glad you came. Have a seat. Cyrus, bring him some tea. You got it. Leo, what would you like? Green tea, black tea, kelp tea, oolong tea. It's been a long time since I've had green tea. I'll take one with no sugar, please. It's necessary to fill out some paperwork so that Primavera can pay your salary and receive a corresponding deduction. Please sign your name in all the indicated fields. My Japanese name? Of course. You got it. Shishigami Kotaro. Kotaro? Yeah, sure. All the documents were in English. I didn't have a clue what any of them said. Richard did explain them all to me in Japanese, but I was still completely lost. What's this? Tax form? Fuck taxes. Are all documents in English? Government documents? Of course they are. Did you think that those fine American officers stationed here would accept Japanese documents? I imagine anyone who could translate government documents in an era like this could make a killing. This is my official profession. Money lending is my side operation. I'll bet English language schools are doing pretty well too now. I hear they're flourishing. In the years to come, you probably won't be able to function as a member of society unless you speak English or Chinese. Old guys like us who can only speak Japanese are going to be kicked out one by one. There's nothing to be done about it. It's how that generation must bear responsibility for losing the war. Give us a break. We're the ones who got our asses handed to us, and if our superior officers ever heard us speaking in those villainous horizontal letters. Here you go. Green tea for Leo, oolong tea for Richard. Come to think of it, Cyrus, I don't remember seeing you around the club much. Are you a bodyguard? Well, that's because I'm Richard's bodyguard, not one of Primavera's. Well, I'll come running if the things get messy, so I'm more or less a bodyguard for both of them. Our friendship has lasted a long time. I know I can rely on him in this trouble-filled profession. I'm envious. You're lucky to be reunited with a friend in Tokyo. That's true. All of my other friends have gone missing after all. Though I believe that makes us treasure our faint ties all the more. Even now, we are now one of our precious comrades. You are now one of our precious comrades. Makes me happy to hear it. It's reassuring to have a friend who can understand English. The feeling is mutual. It's reassuring to know someone talented who has returned from the war. Are you being employed by Primavera too? My little sister and the others work at Primavera. That is my connection. You've heard, haven't you? Stella's Richard's little sister. Yeah, I have heard. I've never seen of any resemblance, though. I resemble our father, while my sister resembles our mother. Richard's good with money and words. He handles everything behind the scenes at Primavera. And in exchange, you're tough and strong. I'm always in your debt. Come on, all this praise is embarrassing me. Old friends. I wish I had some of those too. Is that good? Now please write your repatriation notebook number here. Ah, phone's ringing. Please excuse me. Hello, this is the Myogi office. Am I supposed to write the hyphens here too? Nah, you don't need them. Just write all the numbers starting to the left on the left side. I seem to be signing a lot of English papers without reading them. I assume none of them will give me permission to take my organs out of my living body or anything like that. Ha ha! Richard won't do something like that. Don't worry. Richard may be ruthless, but he'd never deceive one of his friends. I can guarantee that. You trust Richard a lot, don't you? After all, I've known him since we were little brats. I know he's not that kind of man. The reason he looks so ruthless is because he wants to protect. To protect? To protect his sister, his friends. There's an awful lot of people for him to protect right now. On top of that, the money he's dealing it with isn't his. It belongs to everyone. Richard understands that. That's why he turns ruthless to protect everyone. So Rose isn't the only one who feels a strong sense of responsibility. Well, it's not like he doesn't have a funny side to him. I'll get to show you that one of these days. At that moment, Richard slammed his hand down onto the desk. Cyrus jumped nervously, turned around, but Richard was apparently slamming his desk at someone over the phone. Very amusing. Of course that is unacceptable. We had a very specific agreement as to the rate and repayment schedule, taking all possibilities into consideration. Our agreement accounted for all possible coincidences and misfortune. No, there are no exceptions, as you well know. Oh? You want me to wait 3 days? How about this then? I'll give you one-to-one deal on extra days. For each day I have to wait, I will break one of your fingers, or your wives, or possibly your daughters. Pretty colorful thread, don't you think? That guy's trying really hard. What do you mean he's trying hard? Look at Richard's hands. He's reading his lines off a notepad. Oh, you're right. He's talking off a cheat sheet. The person on the other end of the line was probably quivering from his brutal threat. The person on this end, though, was reading off a cheat sheet. Richard really is terrible with threats. He'll always write it out beforehand, then read as he goes along. It's really quite moving. Come now. Your family has a full 30 fingers to spare. I'll let you choose any 3 fingers you like. Oops, looks like he slipped up there. Richard noticed Cyrus sniggering at him, and his cheeks turned a little red. I'm sending one of my young men to see you now. Please select which fingers you would like broken by the time he arrives. Goodbye. Cyrus, please pay a visit to the Shiratori shop. We mustn't let them take us lightly. You got it. I'll scare the pants out of them. And they thought they could fool me. I already have information telling me they're capable of paying. There are quite a few out there who try to trick you, even though it's in their power to pay up. Getting them to do is where we get to show our quality in this job. You're sending Cyrus to go break their fingers? No, you just show up, scare them a little bit, and they end up paying, because they have the money to pay it. Of course not. That sort of threat is just for phone calls. Believe it or not, I'm quite the pacifist. I tell him that everyone else had their fingers broken, but I'll ask Richard to let him off easy. Just this once. They're crying at our feet. I behave in a ruthless manner for business reasons. I wouldn't want you to suspect me of being inhuman. Huh, not too shabby. Anyway, I'll be back in a bit. I'm counting on you, Cyrus. As usual, please act in moderation. I'm not well adjusted to being a moneylender. Cruelty is something I just can't get used to. Yes, this tea certainly is delicious. Cyrus's tea always is, no matter how cold it gets. Fucking crazy.